Hey folks, how you doing? All right, we're back with some more mythology. I thought I would talk about the sun catcher. The sun catcher. So it was said, that the sun was missing times. Sometimes it was overtime. Sometimes he's moving too fast. Yeah, sometimes the sun was moving too fast, sometimes too slow, and sometimes it seemed like it had stopped. So the folks got together and said, wait a minute, we got to call on the gods to straighten this out. Okay? And so they called, the guys got together and they said, well, we'll call the guy Shu. Well, Shu is a sun catcher and sun tamer, you know? So, folks, this is mythology now, but there is certainly a meaning to it, okay? So anyway, they called the god Shu because the sun was slowing down and whatnot, you know? And so Shu comes with he carries a noose, like a lasso. You can throw it, wrap it around the sun, and cause the sun to travel at the pace that the Shu wants it to travel, or at its normal pace. Instead of being all erratic, running down to the underworld and so forth and so on. It's just going fast, So then slowing down, he would slow down. So anyway, Shu catches him with his rope, his noose, and throws it around the sun, and causes the sun to travel at its its normal course. Okay. So the Shu did this, and the sun promised, that it would be it wouldn't be wayward anymore, that it would travel. You know what I mean? According to design, instead of acting all erratic and whatnot. So the Shu caught him and straightened him out. So now we've got to relate this to human behavior. What about the human? This is what mythology is about. The mythology is written for us humans, so that can help us live life. People say, well, I'm already living life now. Not the life that they're talking about. I'm talking about in the real time, to the folks, the sages of the temple, the most wisest people that ever walked the earth. I'm talking about the life that they're talking about. And that is a life that humans can live if they choose to, So now, what happens is that we're talking about the solar energy within the human being. And we're talking about catching the sun and whatnot. We're not talking about the sun in the sky. We're talking about the solar energy within the human. That is an energy that the humans can control and should control. They would have to control it in order to live life, as the sages said. Like the Ankh. Yeah, it's a long story behind Ankh, and it's about living life according to the theology of the ancient Egyptians, or the Kemites. The Ethiopians, the Cushites, and Nubians, they were all in this together. The same mythologies. So now, we see that the sun, at the fall of the year, doesn't give us as much light as it had been before it entered the autumn of the year. So this means that there is the nights are longer than the days. Well, this is true. I mean, this is natural phenomenon, okay? But now we got to see, well, what goes on here. So what? The nights are longer than the days. Well, it has an effect on the solar energy within the human. In other words, the human's not getting as much sunlight, and so it has an effect on him and her. Okay, it has an effect on the human. So, what the human has came up with thousands of years ago, are certain exercises that will sort of make up for the loss of sunlight. What, about 2 or 3 hours? You know, a loss of the sunlight in the fall and autumn, or no, winter of the year. So the humans came up with certain exercises that would help the solar energy within the human. Okay, yeah, it's important for the human to maintain this energetic state within himself. You know, people get the winter blues and so forth and so on. You know, they're more prone to illnesses in the wintertime. And so of course, people want to avoid that. Well, they come up with certain exercises, you know what I mean? And a diet to help stimulate the solar energy within. Exercise to stimulate the solar energy within. So the god Shu now, the one who wrote the sun and brought the sun and, you know, in line with the will of the folks, the will of the people. Well, Shu is a god of breathing force. He's a god of air, wind, and breath. A god of breathing. And so this tells us then to employ the formulas associated with that god, you know, which has to do with breathing, okay, rhythmical, regulated breathing exercises will help folks through the dark days of the fall and the winter, you see. And so, Shu, okay, let's say with the winter solstice, okay, at the winter solstice, the days, okay, after we cross the winter solstice, the days begin to get a little longer, but still they're not as long as the nights. So now, in the mythology, the god Shu, in his name of An-Her Shu, An-Her, okay, is a character or aspect of Shu, okay, and so An-Her is the one who pulls the solar orb, the moon, the sun up to the equinox, the spring equinox, and after the spring equinox, well, the days become longer than the nights, and so the solar god is crowned king and so forth and so on because he's victorious with the help of Shu and his other aspect and her Shu. Okay, well, the same thing for the human. So when a human reaches the spring equinox and the days are longer, then let's say he's safe. You know what I mean? From the disasters that fall many people during what we call the underworld. That is, here we're talking about the fall and winter months. Simply because, the underworld, simply because the days are shorter than the nights during this time of year. And so folks who are really training themselves or going through these the processes of, let's say, like yoga, spiritual exercises, and so forth and so on, are greatly benefited by them. And these spiritual exercises, well, they always seem to deal with breathing, rhythmical, regulated breathing. So that's Shu. We call upon the God Shu for that. When you call upon the God Shu, what you're doing is calling upon certain formula. The formulas of the God. All the gods have formulas. And that's how they were, well, let's say, used by the humans. You see what I mean? But now a person, through experimentation with himself, he can come up with his own formulas. Oh, but it takes time, You try this, you try that, you try that. We're talking about inhaling was a number of seconds. Then we're talking about retention of breath, like holding your breath for, let's say, a number of seconds or a minute or whatever. And then we're talking about the exhaling for a number of seconds. Okay? So, and this, this is the deep breathing thing. You be taking your breathing, but you do it with ease. You don't want to strain yourself or hurt yourself. So this is what the folks did. The formulas call for these sort of things. But like I say, a person can create his own formula. You know what I mean? Until he reached a point desired. You know what I mean? Which will happen. Because you alter things within your body when you do these exercises. Okay, folks, I'll get back with you and the sun catcher. We have to catch the solar energy within ourselves. Hey, this is what all scriptures teach. And regardless of the religion, all scriptures teach this to people, if you understand the scriptures. Okay. Read hard and read deep, and you'll get the understanding. Okay, thank you very much, folks, and be talking to you again soon. Subscribe. Yes, lovely. Subscribe. Okay? Have a good one, and take care of yourself. All right, bye-bye.